finished page 39 that we were working on last time. So here it is with the colors. I did, if you can see here, let me set this as default. I took this color palette, this one for California, and I muted it because this is a sadder scene, so I muted everything, but it's still in the same palette. Sometimes that's important to do. Thanks for joining the stream. I'm glad you're excited for it. I'm happy to have you. Sorry that I finished this. Hopefully that's okay. Sometimes I work throughout the week on stuff and try and continue to work on things. I'm gonna turn the music down slightly. I can barely hear myself. Hopefully you can still hear it. But thank you. I really wanted something that had the tone I was trying to set, and it's been so happy with the clouds and everything that I thought this would be a nice watercolor look to our scene. And then I left this blank because I wanted to really emphasize that the robot has no emotion and does not understand his emotions. So the robot's congratulating him on guessing the jelly beans that he's been guessing the whole time and guessing wrong. And here at the very end, he doesn't even care. He knows there's 3 and his journey's over. You're nervous for tomorrow. What's tomorrow? And thank you. I'm glad you like the work on it. So let's go ahead and jump into a new page. Looks like we're on 9. Page 9 here. This is one of our chapter title pages. So what we're trying to do here is every single chapter is a different state as he's traveling. So that's the goal here. Alright, let's get our size of the brush down. Sometimes I take a little bit of time to think about, okay, how am I going to approach this? Okay, that didn't do anything. Sometimes these will darken some of those lines that I'm having trouble seeing. But it looks like we're gonna maybe have to guess a little bit on what we're doing here. Thanks for joining the stream though. It's been a good week for me. Hopefully it's been a good week for you. I'm gonna turn my opacity down, and then I'm going to erase the lines I just did first because I forgot to add a layer in there for my lines. Alright, there we go. Now we can get started. Your first interview in London. London Uni? I'm not sure what. Oh, university? Is that what that is? Waiting on a response from Cardiff and Yorkshire. Awesome. What is the what are you pursuing? Do you have any specific concentration of what you're hoping to work in future career? 19th birthday. Well, happy early birthday, because I won't see you because of Sunday being on stream. What I get up to this week? Well, I'm a avid Xbox player, and I actually had been playing quite a bit of Destiny. I love Destiny. I love the sci-fi world and all that's in there. So I spent I don't know, a decent amount of time doing that. And then I have a wife and 2 kids, and so I spent some quality family time with them most of the days. It was actually a huge snowstorm around here, and man, for several of the afternoons and evenings I spent shoveling snow. We actually got, I want to say, because of the wind, it probably wasn't actually this much for us, but because of the wind here, I probably shoveled a foot of snow, which is a lot. But I live in Indiana, so it's gonna snow. Don't know why we live here. Well, I do know why, because we love it here, but it is winter that makes me wish we lived somewhere warmer. I'm a big warm weather guy. If it was 100 plus every day, I wouldn't care. I would go run in it. Just always loved super hot weather. Not humid though. Humid's not fun. Dry heat is much better. Stage management and theater studies. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's always exciting to go and pursue your passion. Yeah, I have a 5-year-old son and a soon-to-be 4-year-old daughter. And my son's super energetic, really kind-hearted, sweet little boy. He's in preschool. And then my daughter is highly special needs, and she actually has a very low developmental ability, like lower than a newborn. And so we just do the best we can to take care of her and make her comfortable, and we love her. And wasn't what we were expecting in our journey, but that's kids. You have to realize when you're gonna have kids, okay, there's a possibility my kid might not be how I thought they'd turn out, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna love them any less. She's taught us a lot. So is Grayson, yeah. So is our son. My phone turned off for a second. It makes it hard to see the chat. I actually have three screens going at once, all with stream stuff on them. And then my phone has the chat on it, so sorry if I don't get to your comment quick enough. I am trying to do a bunch of stuff at once, which is part of the reason sometimes I draw off stream, because not only do I want to finish the book faster, but drawing on stream, as fun as it is, it can be pretty just intensive compared to just chilling and listening to music that I want, that's not copyrighted. So I have to listen to the specific music. Not that I don't like it, it's okay, just not something I'd listen to all the time. But it's copyright free, and I appreciate artists putting stuff out that I can use like that, so I don't get my YouTube channel struck down. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you for wishing our family the best, and I I hope your interview goes really well. I don't know what your faith is, but I am a Christian, so I will be praying about your interview, that it goes well and that you would have the words to say. Because that can be nerve-wracking, and you just never know how they're going to be, how they're going to act towards you. And so I just hope that you have a calmness, the ability to be yourself and present yourself in a way that you feel really proud to go out of the interview and feel that you did your best. That's all we can hope for. That's awesome. Well, in that case, I guess based on your name, I can't tell, but you're either my brother or sister based on that statement. So that's cool. Glad we're part of the same family. So I'm trying to be real kind of rough and weird with some of these lines, because you'll see, if I pull out and get rid of this, it's looking real sketchy, which is great. That's actually the look I'm going for. Remember, unless it's man and bot, I'm making sure that this looks traditional art. So I'm using these rougher things and kind of not being super precise, which gives me a lot of freedom to draw more freely without feeling like everything has to be exact and perfect, which is fun. Well, hopefully you got a chance to see the new video thumbnail. I worked on that a little bit yesterday, which I thought was kind of silly and fun. It's just man kind of perturbed at bot who's behind him. And he's got popcorn in his beard, which is apart from this story. Okay. Goodness, I hit my head on the camera. Everything's a little bit congested. This isn't exactly an art studio or streaming studio. My setup is slightly cramped, but this is also where I work. I work from home most of the time because of COVID and everything that happened with that. But I enjoy it. I like being at home. Have to say though, I've had to really control the snacking because they're readily available and I love to eat. Alright, let's see. Should probably color these in. Nope, don't like the look of that. So we will change our brush out. Much better. That's something that is good to remember, is that your tools can make or break your look. So if something's not working, try changing the tool. So 19, you got any plans for your birthday? That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, good to know your name. Sometimes the names we have on YouTube and like for instance, my Xbox gamer tag has it's basically just Batman. It's like, okay, obviously I'm not Batman, so who are you? You know, but I appreciate you sharing a little bit with me. Ooh, it's really big. Oh, too dark. There we go. What layer is that on? Oh, must be original layer. Okay, I'll go in and erase this now. Okay, let's get in there and get a little bit more precise. Well, I'm glad you enjoy watching me draw. Part of my goal is just to do a chill stream that's not all these fancy schmancy whatever. A lot of streamers out there trying to put on a show, and I'm kind of like, I just want to draw my stuff and maybe chat with people and hang out and enjoy that. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed your birthday, and happy birthday since it was on the 3rd. That's cool. So goofy. Like, why is this even happening? I just thought it'd be funny to have him hanging from a bridge. Like, catch me. Um, my sense of humor comes through in this a lot. A lot of it's just really dumb situations. Alright. Let's see. It's good so far. So this sign right here, I looked up on Google Pennsylvania road signs and welcome to Pennsylvania signs, and one of the things I noticed was this one kept coming up, sorry we're closed, and I don't know what it's talking about, but I was like, okay, well, is the whole state closed? So I thought that was funny, so that I made the whole state's motto, sorry we're closed. It's just hilarious to me. Every state I change the motto, because every state kind of has a saying. So you'll see like, what does it say? Find it here, I think, is Ohio's, and I just said find it there. I just changed little things in order to kind of make the state, like, poke fun at the state. And then there's a joke later because this road here, I-70, goes from pretty much one side of the country all the way to the other, and it's really flat and pretty boring. Takes several hours to get across, and so I used to drive it because we used to live in Kansas, which is 12 hours from here, and I made this joke that I go from a chapter in Indiana in the book all the way to Colorado, and at the beginning he just says that was boring, and that's supposed to tell you that he went through the other states, because there's nothing on I-70 through those states. So I was like, I don't think, for two reasons. The book didn't need to be that long, and two, I just thought it was a really funny joke to just skip that. Unsure what one to get? Thanks. If you're looking at tablets, so I at one point had an Artisol, which is a cheaper option, but I noticed like the pens sometimes did not have a good response time, and overall the tablet didn't last me very long. Wacom is really good, but they're very expensive, and I would not suggest spending that kind of money. This is actually an iPad 4th generation 12-inch, and it costs a lot less than getting a brand new generation. And if you're looking at drawing in a program, Procreate is what I use. That's what I would suggest. It's really simple. You can just watch some tutorials on YouTube, but then you can, by buying a earlier generation, you can get a bigger iPad for a lot less money, and you still have the processing power you need, because Procreate doesn't really require a ton of speed on your tablet. So unless you're like playing mobile games and having a good old time on your screen and you're planning to do that, this is perfect. So 3rd, 4th generation of iPad, I would suggest that as a starter. And then this is just an Apple Generation 2 pencil, and it works fine. It's probably the most responsive pencil that I've used. And I've used uh, several tablets. And as far as programs, I've used several programs. I used to have Clip Studio, and that worked really well, but it is a paid thing. No, I want a curve. I guess it's not gonna let me do a curve. Let's turn it so it's easier. Just drag my hand instead of my, if you drag your hand instead of your wrist, it's a lot easier to make those types of lines. But yeah, the Procreate program I found really useful. I think it's only like $10 and you have it and you're done. This pencil I believe is $99, and I think this was like $3.99. Yes, overall it seems like a lot, but for entry level, that's pretty cheap to get started, and you can make pretty much whatever you want, and there's lots of easy ways to save it. I save everything on my iPad as well as to the Google Drive, and it works fine. Yeah, I got mine on Amazon. You can get some refurbished ones for cheaper, and a lot of Amazon sellers, if you look at their return policies and that type of thing and their warranties, you can get a killer deal and not have to necessarily break the bank just to have the best new whatever thing it may be. I find that a lot of times with technology, you can pay a premium, get the best of the best, but it really doesn't change your experience very much, at least from drawing on an iPad. But there are other things, of course, where it does make a lot of sense. Like part of my job that I do for my everyday job is video editing, and I use Premiere Pro, and I have to have a really fast MacBook for that. I can't use something slow. So performance matters in certain aspects, but as far as like a drawing program, iPad's done a really good job of integrating their software with the pencil, and then Procreate has done a good job as well. So, and you can customize those pencils, so you'll notice when I use that technical pencil for the man and bot drawing, the stroke is slightly delayed to allow me to have more control, and that's just something I did in settings. You can change pencils and brushes up to be what you want them to be. And it's just fun. It is fun. One thing I do for practice sometimes is I'll just get a picture off of Pinterest. I have some boards on there that I use for storyboarding for my stories. I'll just have like a mood board or a scene board, and I'll just go in there and grab some random drawing or character that I think looks cool and just try my best to repeat it and have it as a reference up there on the side. You can actually do a special thing where a reference just sits up there unchanged while you do your stuff. There's lots of cool features. Not that I'm trying to sell you on this, it's just something you might want to look into. I've enjoyed it. I've found it to be useful. And my artist for my other comic, she has found that Wacom is also expensive. That used to be her main thing, was Wacom tablet, and Photoshop is what she used to use all the time. And she actually switched to an iPad and Procreate. She just found it to be a cheaper solution, because if anything breaks, some of those tablets you're looking at almost $2,000 to replace the tablet, which is insane to me for something that I can get a pencil, the program, and the iPad for under $500. Why in the world would I pay $2,000 unless I had a lot of money? And I don't. Just your average guy who likes to draw. Secondhand sites, yep. Yeah, I usually would do that. I did buy my Xbox new, but I have the new Series X, which you really don't have much of a choice. You have to sit there and try and be one of the few chosen few who get to actually get it. So that costs you can't really avoid. But yeah, as far as like refurbished and secondhand sellers, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So you're getting pretty decent, relatively new technology for cheaper just because it's 1 year old. I can't even read what that says. I'm just gonna do this. Scribble. We'll make do. Yeah, check and see. Okay, my other stream's working. That's working. It's working. Okay. I hadn't checked yet. So I'm streaming on YouTube, and then I have a closed group with my stream, like a chat, a clan chat. I have a clan in Destiny, so I stream to them. That does not seem right. That'll do. Alright. How did this not... I thought I already did that. No. I like it how it is. Alright. I'm going to have to get out my pencils for this because I know there's more detail to this, so I'll be right back. So this is why it's good to hold on to your pencils, hold on to your watercolors. All right. Okay, so you can see from this just how similar the pencils are to what I actually did. But there's a lot of detail that got missed when I scanned. So we're gonna go add that back in. True. Some sites do make a lot of money for those cheaper prices. And you have to watch out for some sites selling you junk. So I always try and buy from reputable places. Okay. Do one more over here. I like the road, actually. Gonna leave that. Okay, it is 2:35. We're making good time. This is fun. I love landscapes. I wouldn't say I'm awesome at them. I actually struggle quite a bit with them. But I still have fun doing them. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm alluding to trees, but I actually don't want to draw more. So since it's a background information thing, I can let's get back to our correct layer. Awesome. That's great. Well, hopefully you can pursue that, and that can help you with whatever you decide to use the iPad for. I mean, can be very useful for all kinds of things like theater design, you know, that stage design or whatever you end up focusing in on. That's going to be super useful to have a tool like that. And I found the more and more I use this, the more I get used to it and get better at it, and that adds a lot to my experience as well. I'm pretty happy with that. Now our color palette has to change, so I have this one. New York, Ohio, Indiana, spring and fall. Set as default. Now we're going to use that for our colors. I think I actually have some type of grass. A lot of these I downloaded for free. They just had free brushes and things. I was like, cool, I'll take it. That looks kind of like grass. Let's see what that does. A lot bigger. Not what I'm looking for. But what if we smaller? Use it like that. I'm just playing around. We'll see what happens. And then what if I use something clumpy? The watercolor brush and get under it. Yeah, that gives a nice texture. We'll do that. I have to change to another layer though. So I accidentally did it on my lines. There we go. Now we can try again. Yeah, I think those, both the Mac and the iPad work really well together. I have a Mac as well, a MacBook Pro for work and for that type of thing, and I found that they work really well together when I need them to. Well, thank you. This is literally the first time I've tried to mix these brushes for grass, so it just happens to be working. I think that's part of what you might be learning, is just try stuff. And if it doesn't work, no harm done. Backstep a few times. Try something else. That's one thing that's nice about digital compared to traditional. Like a lot of these drawings that I did, erasing is a pain in the butt, so you'll see lines and things that I didn't mean to keep there. I'm going for kind of an overcast day as far as coloration, because if you know anything about the Midwest, where I live and where Pennsylvania is, it is pretty overcast a lot of the time. It's not super sunny and bright. It can be. I feel like part of the thing I'm doing with this book is doubling down on the stereotypes of these states, not just what they're like in general, but like there are certain stereotypes of how things feel certain places. That looks pretty good. Alright, let's see if we got a darker tone here. Get a bit smaller. I'm purposely kind of waving around these brush strokes. Yeah, looks good. One almost like a brownish. Yeah, that might do. But I'm gonna need a different kind of brush for this one. Not seeing what I would like. I may just have to create the look myself. Yeah, that's might work. Too big. So I'm doing a almost like flats underneath, and then I'm gonna add detail of the trees over top. So I wanted a very muted, almost brownish green. Get those flats in there, and then we'll add the color of the pines over top of that. So now we can go in inking with our, and we're not gonna change the color. We're just adding some of that detail. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Hopefully you, in watching my stream, have been inspired to go and draw and sketch some stuff out, and maybe a notebook or something, and just get out there and do it. Because the problem with perfectionism is if when you're all done and you're not satisfied, you're really discouraged by whatever you created. Where a sketchbook, especially a sketchbook, it should be the freedom to mess up and create some ugly stuff. because it's about the practice, not about the product. Practice, not product. I've had to kind of tell that to myself as well. And by the way, if you're ever having a hard time waiting on a stream for the week, all these streams are on my YouTube channel. You can go back and watch any of them. They're all recorded. That is something that it just automatically does. And one reason I chose this platform because it was on Twitch and I had to manually go in there and repost the episode. And that just got old. This just automatically puts it up on my channel. It's awesome. Ooh, I love the way those trees turned out. I'm gonna do that again. What brush was that? I think it was some weird element or material. Yeah, material. Do it here too. Oh man, yes, I hate the cold too. And our heating prices are expensive here too. Like literally we have electric heat, and so in the summer compared to the winter, it's a good, let me try and do the math in my head. Math is not my strongest subject. I think 4 times more per month to heat the house. It's crazy. But yeah, not enjoyable. Now back here, I'm going to do my best not to do it as dark or as detailed as I did up front, almost like illusions of stuff. I don't even have the black lines, and that's to keep that background out of focus, out of detail. So something's there. It looks kind of like a tree, but you don't know what that thing is. So back to our palette. I'm gonna choose that color. This is kind of like a concrete wall on the bridge. You enjoy doing pet portraits? Um, Dogs, cats, what kind of pets? Do you have a favorite kind of portrait you do? Or do you do portraits of people you know, of their pets? Or do you look up pets on Google? I know that's a bunch of questions all at once. I get curious about what people enjoy drawing and why, and the thing I would challenge you with, if you enjoy doing that, something I've done, I enjoy drawing too, certain things. And what I started out doing when I was trying to get a lot better was I drew the thing that I like to draw, but I drew it from a lot of different angles, and I drew a lot of different kinds of that thing. So not only was I good at that thing, but I was good at all aspects of that thing, not just a face forward view of the dog or whatever it is, but all kinds of actions, all kinds of positions, and that helped me draw quite a bit better as far as understanding. For instance, I like to draw people. Drawing a person from looking up or looking down or all that can be really, really difficult. It takes a lot of practice to do. This is feeling too perfect, so I'm probably going to add a texture to this concrete. And I actually think I have some type of concrete texture, but it's looking too solid, too perfect. So we'll look at our textures. I think it might be in a different thing. It's not in textures. Charcoals? No. Elements. Yeah. Is it in here? Materials. Kind of like marble texture might. No, let's do papering. And then we're gonna have to change to a darker version of that. So we'll just pull it down a little bit. Just to give it that dirty overpass look. Why is that erasing like that? I don't like having to go over it a bunch. Probably getting close to our time. Yep, 2 minutes away. It's been fun hanging out though. Actually, like a bit of speckle on the sign, makes it look rusted or something, aged. It seems like a good stopping point. We have the sky left to do, which overcast sky will be pretty easy. It'll be pretty bland. Man and bot, of course, we gotta color them. That won't take long. The signs, and we gotta just do some grayed out on the concrete there for the road safety divider, but it's looking great. I mean, when you compare the two, there's our pencils. It's looking good. But okay, you've done rabbits, dogs, cats, hamsters. You own 2 rabbits. Hamster, you drew a lot. That's cool. You surprise people with pet drawings. That's awesome. I hope you have a great interview, and I'll be praying for you. And thank you for joining the stream. And I hope to see you again next time.